Hello, family. Welcome back to the African Diaspora News Channel. I'm Wongel Zelalem, and today we have some update for you. We talked about how there was a plot to unalive, take out, however you want to call it, assassinate Captain Ibrahim Traore, the leader of Burkina Faso, the loved leader, I might add. There was a coup against him. It was thwarted thanks to the people and the military that are loyal to him. And this was on January 3rd, 2026. So, freshly in the new year, they wanted to take him out. It was just not successful. That's what happened. And, there was information. Let's say misinformation, information, lack of information in regards to the attempted coup, but eventually the government of Burkina Faso came out and reported that yes, they have thwarted a coup d'etat, and they believe that the person behind it, the mastermind behind it, was ex-president Damiba. So Captain Ibrahim Traore overthrew Damiba, and Damiba fled to Togo. So he was residing in Togo. Well, it didn't last for long because Togo expelled him this Saturday, a few days ago. And although the Burkina Faso government hasn't yet said anything, Togo has, reported that they have sent or expelled the ex-president Damiba to Burkina Faso. And I'll just tell you the reasons why he's been expelled and why Burkina Faso wanted him eventually. They got him. So, yeah, in case you don't know what he looks like, this is Damiba, the person allegedly behind the coup attempt against Captain Ibrahim Traore. So, yeah, let me just as more people join in, I want to read for you the report. So according to report, and this happened yesterday, so it's quite fresh. Togo has arrested and extradited Burkina Faso's former leader to his home country after authorities in Burkina Faso accused him of plotting to unalive Ibrahim Traore. Paul Henry Santiago Damiba, who came to power in a coup in 2022 before himself being overthrown by Ibrahim Traore 8 months later. By the way, this guy only ran the country for 8 months because he was overthrown by Ibrahim Traore. Is accused. He's accused by the current government, which is Ibrahim Traore's government, for masterminding an assassination attempt against Traore. So, according to the Togolese Justice Ministry, Damiba was handed over to Burkinabe authorities on Saturday. So, he's already in Burkina Faso. We look forward to hearing what's going to happen to him because if it is true, why say if it's true? If the government of Burkina Faso is saying that he plotted, you know what? We're gonna believe them. They have not given us a reason to doubt them as of yet. So yeah, I wanted to read for you the charge that this fellow right here next to me, that you're looking at, Damiba, the person that was behind the coup attempt against, I'll repeat it, Ibrahim Traore. Some of the charges Damiba is facing in Burkina Faso are criminal embezzlement, aggravated aggravated receiving of stolen goods and money laundering, and worst of all, the worst one is the attempted unaliving, basically putting a hit on Ibrahim Traore. And by the way, this is that's why I said maybe let's not say alleged, because the government is telling us that they actually found evidence, and not just that, an officer, it gets better. An officer that was bribed or given money by this guy that I'm talking about, Damiba, the ex-president, said that he was given, and I quote, $15,000. I mean, he's cheap. He's not even paying a lot, Like, as you know, Ibrahim Traore has been dodging assassinations left from right. Like, it reminds me of the movie The Matrix. Like the way you remember Neo, how he dodges those bullets. Like, how many assassinations did he escape? All because, by the way, not because all no, not because he's supernatural, but because of his people, the people around him protecting him, covering him. They really, really, really believe in him, so they'll stand up for him. And so this guy offered $15,000 to the officer. I'm not sure if he took it, but he admitted to the government, to the authorities of Burkina Faso, and said that, yeah, they gave me $15,000. Him, like, he actually implicated the ex president Damiba, and he said he paid me, or rather, he offered to pay me in order to, start the coup. Another thing that the Burkina Faso government is accusing Ivory Coast. Ivory Coast is just, it's very sad and unfortunate. Like, whenever there's a coup attempt in Burkina Faso, the authorities always come out and say, we have evidence, it's Ivory Coast behind it. So it's very sad why Ivory Coast is involved in this. But it's definitely not something new, because we've been hearing about this. So Ivory Coast also, according to the Burkina Faso government, offered or facilitated $125,000 for the coup plot. And at least, they are putting in a little bit more money than the ex-president, who's offering what, 15K. To be fair, $15,000 will go a long way in the context of the continent of Africa, because the dollar extends. And when you exchange the dollar to our currencies, it's like you have a little bit more money than, the average person, when you consider it being in US dollars, the offer. Because he was not offered the French franc, the CFA, right? That's the currency they use. So he went and snitched on him. Good on him for snitching, because I know snitching is not considered a good thing. But when it comes to trying to take out a leader that's trying to change the narrative, that's trying to change his people's lives, well, yeah, I mean, we're not going to be against it. So he snitched on him. And the interesting part is Togo gave him up. He was in Togo. So Togo could have decided not to release him, or rather expel him. But they said, we're going to give him up. And they did. So I'm really looking forward to hearing what's going to happen to him. And I always say this whenever they talk about, like, we have thwarted a coup d'etat. We wish they can give us more information, more data, more receipts. So, at the very least, it's not just for us to have the information, but information is key, and the next person can learn from it. And so whenever they're saying, "Oh, the French were involved," I'm like, okay, can you give us a little bit more? Or when they say the French spies were caught, okay, can you give us, like, names? Why are we hiding their names? Like, let's expose them. Let's make sure that their pictures and names are everywhere, right? The same thing that they do to our people. If it was abroad, they'll make sure that your picture is plastered everywhere and everyone knows who exactly did it, correct? So why are we hiding, or why are we keeping it hush hush? But at the very least, Burkina Faso has been transparent. So they have accused the ex-president of being involved, basically putting a hit. Actually, that's what they said, because he gave money to an officer to take him out. Luckily for Captain Ibrahim Traore, it did not work out, and the people as well. If you remember, I reported on it when it happened on January 3rd, 2026. This was like a few weeks ago. the people of Burkina Faso, and this happens after midnight. Like, these people are so sinister. They like to do stuff in the dark. Like, they thought everybody was asleep in the AM. So, and funny enough, the same day, the America was taking, or however, quote, kidnapping the president of Venezuela, Maduro. So when that happened and news circulates quickly, like, one thing I have to respect about the people of Burkina Faso, especially after Traore came into power, they're very vigilant. Before the state media even reported on it, they were talking, sharing links, talking about, like, hey, there's a plot. Like, after the officer talked about it, before even the state media talked about it, they were out in the streets. And this is in the AM, like, woke up, some in their PJs, some just found what they can, and put on something that they can find, whatever it may be. They just went out and surrounded his place and said, nothing is gonna happen to him over our dead body, basically. And they stayed there till morning hours to make sure that nothing happens to their leader. That's how much they believe in him, fam. It's admirable. Almost like, if I was an African leader, any leader, and I see how his people are willing to lose their lives for him in Burkina Faso, even if I'm greedy, I would hope, I would assume that it makes me like, even if it's not to be a good person, just to have that legacy of, leaving a name for myself. Like, why wouldn't I go above and beyond to do right by the people? Look at how the people show out for this one man, one young man, I might add, right? So yeah, it's just, yeah, it was an interesting. So, like, I'm gonna put his picture up for those of you that haven't seen him, because I need his picture to be everywhere. This is the man, according to the Burkina Faso government, that tried to assassinate Ibrahim Traore, but he failed. So let me get into your comment section. Bree said, I don't trust that he acted on his own accord. This adversaries' forces tend to have co conspirators, often foreign agencies. Of course, Bree, I completely agree with you. And also, even the authorities, I listened to the press conference the Burkina Faso authorities gave. Of course, it was translated to English because, I do not speak French. They were saying that they're only giving us what they want to give us. They're only giving us the mastermind behind it, which is the ex-president. But of course, he's working with others, and they've mentioned Ivory Coast. And as you know, Ivory Coast and France go together, right? Like, they're really, really pals. So of course, there's that implication and working together. And before this plot, the failed coup attempt, Burkina Faso have told us, like, the French involvement before, not on this one though. On this one, I haven't heard it in the actual statement. They named Ivory Coast, they named the officer that was paid, they named the ex-president now, who's in their custody thanks to Togo. So of course, even them, they didn't say that he worked alone. They just said, we are giving you this specific name, but there are more, is what they said. Oh, hey, Kellen. Thank you, Mystic. Greetings to you, Renz. Bree said, Ivory Coast, aka Cote d'Ivoire, just by having that namesake, I suspect French intervention or any of the Five Eyes. That's true. They've actually insinuated that. So yeah, you're not wrong on that. You are not wrong. Ivory Coast has been the government. Let me be, you know what? Let me be specific. When I say Ivory Coast, it's the government that we're talking about, not the people. The government. I understand the government is like a representation of the people. I get that, but unfortunately for us, in many cases, they are not. They're puppet leaders, or they're leaders that went rogue, or they are dictators that have been in power for so long that they just refuse to move unless and otherwise, they pass away. So, Ivory Coast, the government, has done some shady stuff thus far, and definitely it's not going unnoticed. We see them, we see what they're doing, and we know what they're doing. So, and it's a matter of time, by the way. It's a matter of that time. El Velari said, "This isn't considered snitching." LOL. True, true. Yeah. What's the definition of snitching? Maybe I am getting it wrong, but um, yeah. So this man told or said to the ex-president that he's cool to do this, and he agreed or whatever it may be, took the money or it's on the way to get to him, and then he went and told on him. So I'm pretty sure the ex-president sees it as snitching. Of course, us, we might be like, yeah, you're a whistleblower. We're so proud of you and good job. And the government of Burkina Faso, I'm sure, appreciates it as well. But I'm sure he's seen as a snitch from one side at the very least, right? Hello, Wengel. Read his filth. Read Muhozi and Museveni's. Well, I've been catching up. Oh my goodness. Museveni and Muhozi. Maybe next live stream we can talk about that. Museveni, president of Uganda, has won. He has won. He's been in power 40 years, 40 some years. Um, his son, Muhozi, is his son, the general of an army. And also, I heard, by the way, did he appoint his daughter? What did I see? He appointed her in government. I forgot which ministry, but I saw that too. And I believe his wife is also in government. But I've been catching up on that. Maybe if you're interested, we can talk about it tomorrow. Today it's about Burkina Faso, but yeah, yeah, Uganda, man, Uganda. Bree, okay, I'm getting a definition of snitching. Okay, Bree said this is pointing out a traitor. Snitching happens when you betray the agency of your own people to handle their own affairs by a wider authority. Thank you, Bree. Then scratch snitching. The person that pointed out the traitor. Okay, just scratch that. I said that. Um, thank you, Zenim. Um, oops. Bree said, for the last time, it's Brian. Brian. Oh no, Brian, not Bree. You see, I see four after Bree, and I thought like the name ended. Sorry. Brian. Going forward, I'll be saying Brian. I hope I got it wrong right now, though. Brian. Okay. Sorry, Brian. It's the four. You have a four in your name. So, and you're always here. So, of course, I want to get your name right. But the four just throws me off. I feel like your name ended after I read Bree. Four is there. So I'm like, okay. Anyways, it doesn't reflect here as Brian, but thank you for telling me, Brian. Zanim said fact. Dairy or Dari, sorry if I get your name wrong. Love your videos and work. Thank you so much. Hi, Susan. Good evening to you too. Oh, goodness. Thank you, Amen. Okay. Calm down, Brian. I did not know your name is that way because it doesn't reflect that way, okay? It is Brian. Got it. Brian said, thank you, Black Jesus. It's because of your profile name. Fix it, Brian. Okay. Now that we got that out of the way. Mind Settled said, let's talk about Captain Golden Goose. I'm sorry. It's the chair, by the way. If you heard the noise, my chair is broken. Yes, let's talk about Captain Golden Goose of African Museveni. Okay, what do you want to talk about him? He won. Are you happy? Where are you? First of all, are you from Uganda? How are you feeling about him winning? And secondly, would you be, if you're from Uganda though, would you be willing to come and talk? I know if you're living in Uganda and you're Ugandan, I know it's almost close to impossible to talk about the government when you're in Uganda. I get it. They even turned off the Wi-Fi in the whole entire internet during election. And when they were asked like why, he said, "I built it. Like I'm the one that facilitated for it to be there, so like I can take it out." That's as a mind settled called it Captain Golden Goose. So yeah, I would love to have someone from Uganda, obviously someone that's not in Uganda, because I know it's not easy to talk about it when you're in Uganda, and we want you to be alive. So if you're living anywhere else and you're Ugandan and you want to talk about your leadership, feel free. We would love to talk to you about that. Brian said, "Who's that?" Are you asking about Museveni, Brian? um oh, Brian said, okay, okay. I did not know that, Brian. Let's speak. There's a computer language. Okay, no, I don't know that language, so that's why I didn't know. But hope we're good now, Brian. Thank you, Ali. Hebrew said shalom. Okay, Dari. Okay, Brian said, at least in America, they'll pretend it's an accident or say that it's a government order against TikTok. Well, you see, you only do that if you think that you can get in trouble or something will happen to you or there's consequence to your action. What kind of consequence can happen to Museveni? He runs the show. He's been in power for 40 years. His son is the general of like the army, like he leads the army. Like who's gonna say what to them? So no, they don't have to lie. um Ving Vingta said the West are always afraid of patriotic African leaders since they know they will spearhead their countries, of course. And unfortunately for them, they're taken out immediately. And that's what has happened, in exception to Traore. It's almost a miracle that he's still around. And as I always say, the reason why he's still around is because people believe that what he represents is bigger than him. Like they don't see him as one person, they see him as like the future of their country. So they'll do anything. And don't forget, they also lost Thomas Sankara. It's the same country that Thomas Sankara was taken out. So they feel like they've let down Thomas Sankara. Now they want to make it up to him by taking care of the one that's there and the one that is trying to change their situation. So they'll do anything and everything to protect him. So his survival and dodging all these coup plots, is because of the people around him. They're not willing to betray him. There are so many occasions that were reported. People around him will come and say, "I was bribed. So and so tried to do this. So and so gave me this. So and so." Never happens because they're not willing to give him up for anything. And I think he surrounded himself with true patriotic people that are straightforward, that really care about their country and the people in it. So I think that's the best thing he did for himself: surround himself with trustworthy people. Black Love said, "I just need to go and live in Burkina Faso and enjoy life." Black Love, if you're from America right now, you can't. In the future, maybe. Because if you remember when Donald Trump put a restriction, travel ban on Burkina Faso did the reciprocal thing, and they said, okay, even us, we're not going to allow Americans to come here. So because of that, at the moment, you can't. But in the future, I'm pretty sure things can change, and I hope it happens for you. Um, oh, Mine Settle said, I mean Captain Golden Goose of African, Ibrahim Traore, not Museveni. Hi, Derry. Derry said, love to African diaspora family. Thank you. Hebrew Hammer said, what's the alternative to Museveni? Let in the colonial puppets and let LGBTQ in. Um, okay, to that point. Bobby lost, obviously, right? The opposition, the main, I would say he has many oppositions, but like the one that got a little bit more votes is Bobby Wine, right? So Bobby said he won't contest, right? If I'm not wrong, I saw it somewhere yesterday. And so Bobby, initially, I used to like think, oh, he's a young, leader, a young opposition. The younger generation seem to love him. He seems to have like new ideas, new ways to run the country. And then the more I'm seeing him, the more I'm like, especially his relationship with Western countries and how he's enamored by them and how anything happens there, he's like, I stand with you, and it's I started side eyeing Bobby. Though I still do believe a young leader is a good thing. It's not a bad thing, although with age comes wisdom. But sometimes you need change, I understand, because Museveni has been there for long. Um, but you can still say Museveni has overstayed his welcome there, but at the same time he's done great things, and that's why some Ugandans, like when you talk to them, they still love him so much. Even when when they tell you that they want him out, they still say like Ugandans at least don't sleep hungry. They have so many positive things to say about Museveni, including what you've mentioned. He doesn't seem to be the puppet type. Of course, even him, he has his ways. Like, let's not get it wrong, but he's able to stand up against, let's say, a push like with the US. You remember when they were pushing him around? He said no. They even threatened to kick out Uganda from AGOA. I think they finally did, or something. I might be getting that wrong, but definitely they were threatening them. The World Bank refused to give them the loan that they promised them. Eventually, they came back around and they said they'll give them. But what did Museveni said? He said, "So be it. Okay, go away then." There are so many criteria to admire about him as well. To be fair, um, but yeah, does that mean that he has to stay in power till he can no longer? That's a question for you. I Am Kingdom said Russia is protecting Traore against France and America. I saw recently Russia and Traore has like signed a deal. In what was it about? My mind went blank, but I know they did. Should I well, I don't want to waste your time. Maybe tomorrow we can talk about that too. What deal did they sign? Russia and Burkina Faso sign a deal. Yeah. So, okay, key agreements: nuclear energy, economic cooperation, cultural and education, energy sector, um, and it calls it Russia and Burkina Faso's significant cooperation deal. Most notably, an agreement for Russia's Rosatom, how do you say that? Rosatom, to build a nuclear power plant and develop nuclear technology, aiming to address Burkina Faso's energy deficit, alongside agreements for cultural exchange and Russian entities exploring gold mining investments in the country. Well, I know Russia, like, at the end of the day, you have to pick and choose your battles, and who's going to be like a good ally. But we also have to be clear and like be cautious even when signing deals with Russia. Like, of course, it has to be always Burkina Faso first, African countries first. We should always be mindful of that. Yeah, that's the deal that they just signed. I Am Kingdom said the people are the best because it is always the people that will betray. Shalom, just another woman. Kingdom said Burkina has gold leverage. That's true. And also the people. Now, I like that agriculture as well. Traore is focusing on agriculture a lot, and we love to see it. When other African countries are acting oblivious to the fact that agriculture is very important, when we have so much land in Africa that is going to be fruitful if you use it, unlike other continents, he's focusing on agriculture, the farmers, and he's also focusing on the people, working on the people, which is extremely important. The younger generation is is the next future, and if you not next future, is the future, and right now if you don't work on them, tomorrow someone else is going to use them. You might as well work on them today so they can take the baton tomorrow. Yeah, Brian said LGBTQ is an American community disruption. I don't think any African country supports alphabet people at all. I wouldn't say no one supports them. Of course, there's like a minority group that supports, the community, but for the most part, most African countries, as I said before, are conservatives. And when I say conservatives, it's not like an American context where conservatives are Republican. It's not that, like, just as an ideology. Like, they're more conservative. People are more, measured. People are more religious, so that impacts the way they see, different communities. Oh, that's beautiful. Black Love said, I am a Jamaican lady waiting for a route from Jamaica to Africa continent. I pray it happens for you, dear. Yes, fam. Let me see. Yes. Yeah. Some comments. Okay, fam. Yeah, that's what happened. I'll show his face one last time. This is the guy, the ex-president, Damiba, according to the Burkina Faso government, that tried to assassinate or is the mastermind behind the plot against Ibrahim Traore. Shame on you, brother. Shame on you. Have a beautiful day, morning, night, wherever you're watching this from. I'll see you on the next one. Stay blessed. Bye.